first of all, congratulations anyway. Very well done there.
Thank you, thank you.
Absolutely fantastic play by you guys. Well, are you pleased?
It was a little closer than we wanted, obviously, but we cleaned up our imp play, and Vigors is one of our stronger factions, so we're happy that we won and brought it back and made you poor betting against us. Lust.
Yes, I've lost a lot of money on this match, but well, there you have it. That's the gambler's life. Sometimes you win, sometimes you lose. It's the same in Warband.
Sometimes you bet on the wrong horse.
Yeah, and well, the wrong horse was certainly the drunk one this night, the drunk Russian one, because America proving that they're able to put in a pretty damn good team for a European competition. Absolutely fantastic play, maintaining your top spot in Division C, and well, it was a great game. You got to agree with that, surely, guys.
Oh yeah,
it was a great match. Pretty close, a lot scarier than we would have liked. Incredibly
close, yeah. Going down 7-6 at one point there. Did you think that? I mean, at that point, what was the atmosphere like in the TeamSpeak?
Good. I mean, there's a lot of conversation. We've been down before, so I mean, we've all been playing together for a pretty long time, right? So it's just trying to figure out what's going wrong.
So you're comfortable in that position. You weren't stressed out or anything.
No, there wasn't anybody yelling at each other, or talking about Craddock's mom, or threatening death threats or anything. So.
I mean, obviously, there must be like a bit of adrenaline, a bit of you're getting pumping and stuff. But as long as you're playing, staying cool and staying focused, it's all good.
Oh yeah, we were cheering at the end after we won that round. I mean, emotions are obviously up, especially because we had to come back, and as you probably noticed, we didn't have a lot of key players, so we were.
Yeah, incredible start. Yeah, I mean, we talk about missing players here. You guys are missing Lagstro. Who else there would you say was missing for you guys?
We're missing Lag, Achilles, Beer.
Achilles, yeah.
And we're missing, Beer's one of our best imp, and he's also one of the only ones of us that gets under 100 ping on European servers. So, and then Lag and Achilles obviously are invaluable.
Yeah, and we have missing players from SSS as well. There, no Red War tonight.
Yeah, we were scoping for him after watching the streams and everything. We were kind of lurking there, hoping to QB spy him and make sure he couldn't have a good game, but we missed him this match.
Yeah, I think they had some internet problems. So a couple of missing players there, but I think you still both teams put in pretty solid performances. I mean, obviously you had the set where you lost 0-4. As Rodox, you said that's not one of your most comfortable factions. But I mean, if you had to pick sort of something you had to really work on after this match, what is it you think that you're lacking right now?
Well, I mean, it's pretty obvious that we're still kind of struggling with the closed maps. I mean, part of it's ping, part of it's the changes that a high ping brings, right?
Yeah.
On NA servers, it's okay for us to fragment into 2v1s and things like that, and we'll still pull off the wins, but it's hard to get that done with such high ping, and it's really kind of showing, because you're seeing us drop in imp fights really quick.
Yeah.
So we definitely got to clean that up.
Can't really rely on the melee skill in the same way. You have to work on the teamwork a bit more. Go ahead.
Well, y'all did such a dominant performance on Reverend Village, and then going into, is it Frosty Battle or Vendetta?
Vendetta.
Going into Vendetta, y'all seemed to switch from what was working, which was a cav-focused strategy, to all infantry, which led to a 4-0 set. And I'm wondering, what was the decision behind that, and why did you guys go for that, and why didn't it work?
I mean, in my opinion, Vendetta's not a very cav-friendly map, as opposed to a closed map like Valoran, where it's pretty flat, pretty open. Vendetta, there's debris and wheelbarrows and shit laying everywhere. There's people hiding in nooks and crannies, so there's a lot of room to do badly as cav on Vendetta. So I mean, we had one at the beginning, and we ended up adding Cal as a second cav later on. That obviously helped. But I think it would have gotten really sour if we had 5 or 6 cav plus theirs running around bumping into each other.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, that's fair enough.
What was it that brought back the victory that had almost escaped from your grasp? What can you say you did differently in those rounds you got that won the match?
We really just had to diversify our loadout. I mean, like you said, we stacked a lot of imp at the beginning, hoping that we could push it around, but we weren't going to get done, so we added Cal to Cab. That obviously made a difference. We added Juve back to Archer, and just kind of mixing up that loadout a bit, which isn't normally how we play, but got to change to what works.
Yeah, it was a nice adaptation, and great to see that sort of paying off immediately as well. We saw as soon as you switched up those class setups, the rounds started coming in. So nice commanding whoever was leading there as well, and shows it's a sign of a strong team. Good job, Wiley.
Final question. What was it like fighting the Slavs? Because they have a unique way of fighting. They hang really, really tight. How do you fight against that cohesiveness and organization?
We obviously didn't do such a great job of it playing as Imp, right? When we had the heavy Imp loadouts, we were getting kind of swarmed, right? They were just kind of boiling all around us, and we're getting a lot of hits in the back, a lot of cab bumps. I mean, they had a really good Imp game in terms of how they engaged the close fights. So we just really had to wait for them to work into our game. Picking up crossbows, having archers go around. If you noticed on Reverend and even on the few rounds on Vendetta, we had one of our archers circle around, and they were really getting great shots into their back. Because since they're so tight, that doesn't leave them a lot of room to, protect against the flanks or people on their edges.
Yeah, it was really nice. Especially Juve was finding some really nice positions on Vendetta.
Yeah, and Juve and Reverend Village was getting it done too when they were running for flag. So
yeah,
I think
Juve really stepped up. He had a really great game. Kind of came in for Lagstro being missing there as well. So you got to be pretty pleased with that.
It's really pretty kind of scary. Every time we come to these matches, we thought we were only gonna have 7 today.
Oh really?
We were gonna play it out anyway, but
you had 9. You're okay now.
That's in terms of when we're asking who can make it, it's looking pretty slim. And in terms of our archers being missing and stuff, it's pretty hairy, especially for me as a caller, to wonder what personnel changes we're gonna make to try and make that work.
Well, here's one thing I want to bring up. I feel like Udall is probably our strongest infantry player. He's the guy who can get the most work done in melee fights. What is your reasoning behind putting him as archer and then giving him that kind of disadvantage when it comes to melee fights? These are the weaker stats, the weaker gear.
Well, I mean, I'd like to think that most of our guys can play 2 classes really well. Some of them can play 3 classes really well. And Udall's obviously a fantastic imp. I mean, as the streams and as you guys have described, but this week we were really thin on archers. we really had no one who could play archer other than Cal and Juve. And even then, they're not, what I would consider Lags level or what it looks like, that Red War guy.
Yeah.
So we just had to make the personnel swap, plug people in where we need them.
But is that trade-off that you're often willing to make? Because I would think it would be sensible to just say, well, this guy is going to do great work if we can give him this perfect infantry class and get him in the melee fights. He's going to be able to do great work for us, and we'll just make do with whatever archer we can put in there. That would be sort of my reasoning. I'm wondering how you make that decision.
And that's, really we're looking for the most bang for the buck, right? And we can get we can get Udall in there as imp, and he's obviously going to do great work. But I think he did a pretty good job as archer too.
Yeah, he was great. Yeah.
As opposed to, I can only play imp and cav. I can't play archer at all, right? So, and a lot of our other imp players are like that. They can play cav and imp, but not a whole lot of archers. So Udall's one of the few people who is picking up archery in addition to his imp work. So, in other words, there's a lot of people that can fill in on imp, but not a whole lot of warm bodies that can pick up a bow and get stuff done, be productive.
So you're saying if you thrown in a different something like someone else's archer, they probably wouldn't be able to get much done, really?
Yeah, it'd be a free class, right? They could play archer, but they're not going to be killing anybody.
That's fair enough then. Okay.
Testament to how good Udall is.
Yeah.
Yeah. And if you look at the people who are playing today, hasn't played Warband in a year. The only 2 matches he's played in the last year have been these 2 WNL matches.
This is Onomouse we're referring to right now.
Yeah.
Anonymous.
Anonymous. I call him Onomouse, like Danger Mouse.
Onomaus, yeah. We're drumming him out of the Steam chat, right? Steam history log saying, "Hey man, you still playing? What are you doing?"
Is he okay? He's not on crystal meth or anything? He's still doing good?
No, we still talk to everybody, right? Everybody in WKL still talks to each other, but they've all switched to different games, and we're having to kind of message them on Steam to say, "Hey, we only have 6 on Saturday. Do you think are you free? Have you played in a while? Do you remember how to manual block? Just buy a lot of shields."
We had Beer missing in the last game as well. Is Beer having a hard time making these games?
Yeah, it's rough for. It's really not that early in terms of how we play it. It's early compared to our normal matches, but we're a pretty older clan, right? Most of us are in our 20s. We don't have a lot of people that, the 15, 16s. So most of us have school or work or families or, so coordinating this early is kind of a challenge. And Beer, for example, works on the weekends most of his match time. So it's a struggle
Yeah.
for him to get here.
Yes, that's the issue then. Well, I think that's all the questions from me anyway, guys. Thanks for coming for the interview and congratulations once again on the match. Like, I think that's possibly the best match we've seen so far. It was really
Well,
great
thank
to
you, we
watch
appreciate it.
and to stream on. And well, best of luck in the rest of the tournament as well.
I have one final question.
Go ahead, yeah.
How does it feel to teach the old Slavian school of Slavomir a lesson?
Yeah, we were listening to their interview last week. It was pretty hilarious. That was one of the best interviews we watched. But
All the men in the world.
yeah,
All the men in the world, and the women too.
we were, getting kind of sour because we're watching the betting thread fill up with people betting against us. It's like
Well, lots of people bet for it as well.
Favor turned.
Well, the sort of the thing is, like, I backed you on horse and sword, but then I changed my mind for the betting thread. And then I bet on like a draw as well, so I was really unsure. And then when Red Wall didn't show up, I was like, oh god, no, come on, please be with me. I think that is gonna have an impact. But obviously, like, you're missing players too. It's not like, and part of the tournament is bringing your players to the games anyway. So it's a ridiculous point to make, saying like, oh well, they didn't have their full strength or whatever, because their full strength is obviously whatever they can bring. That's all you can
Right,
put it down to.
I mean, the thing that on our team, it's all WK, right? I mean, some of the other teams, they brought in mercs or clanless people. I mean, it's all our plan, right? And we've considered bringing in a few, warm bodies since we've been running so thin, but so far it's still been whatever we can drum up and the best we can play it. Just
Maybe
with our own
Americans
guys
showing
internally.
interest, maybe like
And it's
a
still
appearance
better
from.
what the Euros got, because you never won.
I'd love to see Piers playing in WNL. It'd be great if you can get him in. If you can get him out of retirement.
Piers actually has merked for us a few times through a few tournaments. Haven't seen him in a while. I don't think he's been playing Warband, but
Get him in.
yeah, we
That
should
guy.
Steam chat him and see what he's doing.
Bring him for an interview. I've not spoken to him for ages. Anyway, enough of nodding around. I think thanks very much for the interview. And that's going to be it from us. Have you got any shout outs you want to make? Obviously, I want to give you the opportunity to do that.
I'd just like to give a shout out to Oodle for doing a great job, and Boogie for tearing it up on the first map and then being gracious about sitting the second map. So
Respect.
I really appreciate it.
Alright, if that's it, then good night from us, guys. Hope you enjoyed that awesome game, what you must have done, because there's no other possibility. And thanks to you, man, for co-casting again. Thanks everyone for watching. Thanks to our teams for putting on a great show. Good night, guys.
Out for a stroll, are we?